film.
back to
Since
my
the first game's
channel.
release in
Thank you
2014,
for
the hit horror
like
series
and
has become a gaming
subscribe to me.
sensation that spawned sequels, a spin-off, tie-in toys, multiple novels, and now, thanks to Blumhouse Productions and writer-director Chris Columbus, a feature film. With a track record that includes Gremlins and The Goonies, the filmmaker sounds like a perfect fit for the series' twisted brand of horror comedy. All the elements for a great horror flick are there, they just have to be used right. Here are all the things we're hoping to see in Five Nights at Freddy's. Light of the morning. While the details are always different, each Five Nights at Freddy's game boils down to one goal: surviving the night. Whether it's a lonely late shift security guard or a terrified kid in their bedroom, each game's protagonist is stuck having to do everything they can to bat back the monsters hunting them. Their only salvation? 6 a.m. Many of the game's most white-knuckle moments come in the last stretch of each level before morning, after all your resources have been exhausted and the same rules. A harried hero in a horrid situation, pushed to the edge of being slaughtered by monsters which become harmless at the first glimpse of morning. A helpless hero getting saved by the clock will go a long way toward making the movie feel like the game, especially if we get a few of the best scares right near the end of 5 a.m.
Hi.
Hello, hello? For Five Nights at Freddy's fans, the voice of the phone guy is an essential part of the Fazbear experience.
Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached.
Cleverly blending exposition with instruction, the phone guy's messages set the tone for each night with chipper yet ominous warnings about the player's duties, creating a sense of isolation that shouldn't be discarded in the translation to film.
Like and subscribe.
If they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on.
It's pretty much a no-brainer to include Phone Guy for spooling out the series' weird lore, and would also be a perfect fit for a cameo appearance from the game's developers, and original Phone Guy voice would be a nice nod to the man who laid the foundation for a phenomenon.
So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children, and we need to show them a little respect, right? Okay.
Foxy and Friends. It almost goes without saying that a Five Nights at Freddy's movie isn't going to work unless Freddy brings the whole crew. Inspired by the real-life arcade and animatronics pizza franchise Chuck E. Cheese's, the Five Nights at Freddy's series includes a whole extended family of animatronic entertainers, and the movie would do well to invite them all. Something jumping out of the dark and grabbing you can get old, so the series' animatronics all have different attributes. In the Chuck E.esque creepy child category, there's Balloon Boy, and the wholesome yet homicidal Baby. For eerie, haunted circus ambiance, there's the dancing Ballora and the clownish Marionette. The fleet-footed Foxy and the unsettling toothy Chica are as menacing as any slasher villain. All of these characters bring a different scary skill set to the table, especially if they get the chance, a la Five Nights 4, to go into nightmare mode. Put a quarter up. One of the least talked about aspects of the Five Nights series is the stuff that goes down between the levels. Since the first entry, the series has featured little interludes of simple, Atari-style mini-games, most of which seem pretty normal on the surface. The happy vibe of the mini-games stands in stark contrast to the pitch-black horror of the main game, and also set up scares of their own when the games have often been the stuff of crappy creepypasta. But they could serve a purpose in the Five Nights movie, especially if the film is set in an arcade that's open for business. It's against the series' rules to have animatronics stalk the halls during business hours, so having the cloying kids games take subtle, dark twists could be a great way to unsettle an audience in the early going. It's important to know that at Freddy Fazbear's, a game over really means something. Home delivery. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 moved the action from a pizzeria to the bedroom of one of the franchise's little guests, making it, by far, the scariest entry in the series, with the monster designs going above and beyond the rest of the games in terms of sheer horror. While the red light, green light gameplay remained the same, the sense of violation the monsters caused went to a whole new level. It's bad enough to eviscerate kids at the arcade, but hunting them down in their bedrooms? That's just terrifying, and if it's done right, could make for the movie's most sinister scenes. It's me. The biggest scares can come from the stuff you don't see coming. One of the game's more unpredictable elements is Golden Freddy, a variation on everyone's favorite killer bear that will occasionally appear with no regard to the rules. If the player doesn't shake him off in time, the game itself crashes and resets. The effect is truly unsettling. Kicked out of the game and left staring at your desktop, you may feel that the evil spirits are loose in your computer. The movie could emulate this by messing with the fourth wall. Taking a page out of the Exorcist book, the movie could assault the audience with subliminal imagery. Or, like in the sequel to Columbus's Gremlins, the monsters could just burn up the film print, breaking out of the movie's world to jump out of the screen. The Bite of 87. If there's one scene that Five Nights fanatics will be expecting to see in the movie, it's probably the most infamous Bite of 87. First referenced by the phone guy in the first game, this brutal animatronic attack quickly became a legendary focal point in Five Nights at Freddy's lore, serving as the moment Freddy Fazbear's went from a fun franchise to something much more evil.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day, too, but then there was the Bite of 87. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe.
Fans of the series spent months speculating about the nature of the fateful bite before the fourth game finally showed it. Players who reached a certain minigame were able to watch as a small child's head was crushed in a pair of animatronic jaws, the carnage being portrayed in old-school pixelated fashion. If the film brings this to life the right way, it'll both thrill fans and leave parents everywhere wondering how they ever thought these games were safe for kids. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel, plus to our YouTube channel,
Like
plus check
and
out all this cool stuff
subscribe.
we know you'll love too.